Greetings and welcome to 5.5 Minutes to Sales Superiority. I'm Rick Wimberly.
And I'm Lorin Bristow. Today's episode is for sales leadership, although we're hoping it will help all.
What we're talking about today are 7 steps that sales leaders can take to help support their team members, regardless of their experience and success levels.
We never suggest that you stop emphasizing your CRM or eliminate coaching meetings or stop asking marketing for more outreach and leads. All of these are important. But what we will suggest is that you dig deeper and put in place specific processes and tools that really work and won't freak out your sales team.
We're thinking that first, you want to make sure you have a formal sales discovery process, not just a list of questions for a spreadsheet, but a carefully planned, organized, and useful process. We all know that sales discovery is difficult to teach. Some people may be innately good at it, but many are not. HubSpot says their study showed that sales teams that have a formal sales discovery process are 2 times more likely to hit their sales quotas.
Let's not downplay that list of questions. The list does not represent the full process, but it's important to arm your reps with a sufficient number of the right questions for sales discovery. Questions that help provide information and even insight. That would be number 2 on the list.
Number 3 is identify core pain points your reps will face consistently. Having the pain points clearly defined and documented and made easily accessible to your team will help them think on their feet. Make your team part of the pain identification process, then provide a means for them to suggest additional pain points for the team's use.
Speaking of pain points, help your team members go beyond simply asking a prospect, "Hey, what's your pain?" I guess they could get useful answers sometimes, and great, but they may also get deafening silence. Sometimes needs just aren't that obvious. What if they were equipped with situational questions? Think about going to the doctor and saying you just don't feel well. You may not be able to identify the true medical problem. You just know something hurts. You look to the doctor to diagnose it and prescribe a solution. You can help your team members do the same with questions like, "Can you tell me about your current approach? What don't you like about it?" And maybe something like, "If money weren't an object, what would you change?" These questions will get the prospect talking and revealing insight that can be used to advance the sales cycle and close the deal.
Number 4 is build value by tying the pain points you've identified to your solutions, features, functions, and value. We've seen many times where sales organizations know these things, say, separately, but don't have them synchronized in a way that a rep can reference them while they're dialoguing with a prospect.
Number 5 is another of those things we all know about, but do we really have them incorporated in a sales discovery process? And that's identifying the key players who will be involved. You want your team to get more than names. You want them to know the role a key player will have in the process. Then you want your team to be equipped to find out what pains the key players are trying to relieve individually and what motivates them. You don't have to settle for just knowing who the key players are.
Number 6, provide tools that will help the reps find out what the prospect's process will be, both for making a decision and completing the buy. We all know that's important, but what if your reps can use that info to create a timeline that can provide accountability for both the rep and the prospect? To help drive the deal forward, not to mention help forecast better.
And number 7, one of my favorites, the executive summary. You know, and I know that a powerful executive summary helps a prospect know that the rep is actually listening to what they're told during sales discovery, and that they already have some thoughts about how they can help. It allows the rep to confirm a good understanding of the prospect's problems, and if they miss the point, the prospect will help them find it and be glad to do it.
We know this all sounds familiar to you, but the question is, are you implementing these themes with your team effectively with processes and tools?
Maybe you feel like you are, but if you have team members who are still struggling to meet their numbers, we can help. Subscribe to the podcast or reach out to us through the contact form at excavase.com. That's EXCAVASE.com. It's not as time-consuming and costly as you might think, and it's guaranteed to help.
Yep. Subscribe to the podcast and stay tuned for more in under 5.5 minutes. Thanks.